B is for Bluegrass. A Kentucky Alphabet, written by Mary Ann McCabe Riehle. I don't know how to say that. Illustrated by Wes Burgiss. B is for Bluegrass. So we start with A. An artist named Audubon starts us off with A. He painted many beautiful birds, ones that won't fly away. They won't fly away because they're in a painting. John James Audubon is the author, and he's from Henderson, Kentucky. And he did a lot of paintings of birds. B is for Bluegrass. Across broad fields it's seen, and though it looks the color blue, up close the grass is green. Kentucky's nickname is the Bluegrass State. It comes from a type of grass that grows well in the soil, found mainly in the north central part of the state. I have bluegrass in my front yard. A lot of the horse farms you'll see have bluegrass. C. Colonel begins with the letter C, although it sounds more like a K. If you're honored with this title, it will make your day. A Kentucky colonel is the highest honor given to a person by the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The colonels are goodwill ambassadors for the state and have been recognized with this title for their outstanding community service. And I am a Kentucky colonel, so you know somebody that is. Not to be confused with Colonel Sanders. That's different. He makes fried chicken. Daniel Boone leads us to the letter D as he led settlers to Kentucky, daring to travel through mountains and gap, finding his way without a map. E is for equestrian, a fancy word indeed, for someone who loves horses to ride and groom and feed. There's a horse. F is for Frankfurt, our beautiful capital city. It's also for the floral clock that tells time and is so pretty. And this is right in front of our Capitol building, this floral clock. Beginning with the letter G and glistening like gold, goldenrod the state flower with color bright and bold. You can see goldenrod growing alongside the roads here. H is for horses and a horse park in Kentucky. If you get to visit there, you'll feel mighty lucky. Here's a horse. Lots of horses here. Isaac Shelby, the first governor, began his name with I. He also served as 5th governor. He must have been quite a guy. He was the first governor of Kentucky, taking office in 1792, serving for 4 years. He was also our 5th governor, taking office again in 1812. He was a well-respected politician and a colonel in the Continental Army. In 1813, Governor Shelby created a different kind of colonel designation by establishing the honor of Kentucky colonel. Shelby County is named after him. Shelbyville is named after him. K is just one letter, but it may make you think of 3. Think original recipe or extra crispy, and you'll think KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's the other colonel I was talking about. There are Kentucky Fried Chickens in Scotland when I went there. L is for Louisville Slugger. Step up to the plate. Take a crack at letter L. If you guessed Louisville Slugger, you did very well. These bats are made in Kentucky. M represents Mammoth Cave. You can explore underground for miles. If your hobby is spelunking, these caverns are sure to bring you smiles. Mammoth Cave is a national park in Kentucky. It's one of the longest caves. N helps us notice some bridges aren't man-made, like the awesome natural bridge. Its beauty will never fade. Natural bridge. It's in the Daniel Boone National Forest, near the Red River Gorge in eastern Kentucky. 3 O's in Owensboro, a city with plenty to do. Listen to bluegrass music and try some barbecue. Owensboro is known for burgoo. It's known for barbecue. And it's right on the Ohio River. P. Pleasant Hill, home of the Shakers, begins with the letter P. Experience the simple life in this community. The Shakers arrived in Kentucky in the 1800s and lived a simple, peaceful life. Skilled craftsmen, they made furniture. You can still tour Pleasant Hill. Q. Quilt City, USA is where you'll find the letter Q. Quilts, historic sites, and murals are all here to welcome you. And the city they're talking about is Paducah, Kentucky, and that's where they have the Quilting Museum. And every year they have the Quilting Society convention. It's well known for quilts. Lots of nice quilts at the Kentucky State Fair too, by the way. R. Run for the Roses. That's twice for letter R. It's the race they call the Derby, drawing crowds from near and far. S. Take a guess at letter S. Sing a song or two. Songs like My Old Kentucky Home and Happy Birthday to You. Stephen Collins Foster wrote My Old Kentucky Home while visiting his cousin's plantation in Bardstown, Kentucky. 2 sisters, Patty and Mildred Hill of Louisville, wrote the Happy Birthday song. It started out being Good Morning to You and turned into Happy Birthday to You. And they're both buried at Cave Hill Cemetery. Standing tall like the letter T, could it be a majestic tree? A few more T's, that would be great. The tulip tree is the tree of our state. U. The state motto begins with U. United we stand, divided we fall, displayed on the flag to be seen by one and all. It also says Commonwealth of Kentucky. Kentucky is one of the Commonwealth states. Only 4 states are known as Commonwealths. The others are Virginia, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania. Kentucky became the nation's 15th state, June 1st, 1792. V. Very graceful in the sky. Chased by girl and boy, it's our state butterfly, the vivid viceroy. In 1990, the viceroy was designated the state butterfly of Kentucky. W winds us round to Wilderness Road, the first road in the state. Rough spots made travel slow, although no stoplights made you wait. A narrow trail used to bring settlers through the Cumberland Gap and into Kentucky, became known as Wilderness Road. Dr. Thomas Walker was the first frontiersman to travel the trail. In 1775, Daniel Boone and other explorers would clear and improve the path, bringing more settlers to Kentucky. X. Find the X in Fort Knox, and you'll find a treasure where our nation stores its gold, almost too much to measure. That's a picture of Fort Knox, where the gold is. Fort Knox is also an army base. This is one building on the base. The letter Y reminds us there can be two ways to go, Yankee or rebel. A border state must know. Kentucky was a border state during the Civil War. Kentucky tried to remain neutral. As the war continued, members of the same family could find themselves battling each other, Yankees fighting for the North and rebels for the South. Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis, both men were born in Kentucky and only a few months and a few counties apart, were presidents on opposite sides of the Civil War. In my family, there is a story of two Gillis brothers that one fought for one side and one fought for the other, so it happened in my own family. Okay, the letter Z. Looking for something fun to do. Why not visit a zoo near you? Zigzag along paths and you might see an animal that begins with the letter Z. What do you think they're talking about? I think they're talking about the black and white striped animal. What is that? Zebra. All right. And then there's a quiz in the back of this book to kind of test your knowledge of Kentucky. Each one of these pages has more that you can read about all the different subjects that we talked about. And that's the book about Kentucky.